Hey guys, welcome back, and in this video we are going to see how to implement this kind of pagination. Pagination is implemented in the situation when you receive all the data at once from the backend, but for the user you have to make them easy to understand and readable. So you segregate all the data into pages. So for this page we have 8 data and we can't actually go back as this is the first page. We can go to the page 2 by clicking on this 2 or the right arrow button. So we click on this right arrow button and we land on the page 2 and we get the next 8 data on the page 2. And similarly we can keep clicking on this arrow button, or we can simply click on this numbers to jump onto that page. And now when we reach to the end of the line, you can't actually go further, so the next button is disabled. And similarly it works for the first page as well. The previous button is disabled. Let's start with the coding part of the pagination implementation. So for that I will create a new route under the pages directory. That will be pagination.js. Here I will create a simple React arrow function component, and let's name this index for now. Do some changes like pagination page, and let's open up the browser and see. We have to move to the pagination path. Yeah, this is showing pagination page. So now let's make a backend call, and that will be just a demo backend call, and it will render all the pages for now. For that, let me create a state as well. So const post, and the function name will be set posts, and let's do use state blank, and we have to import the use state as well. So let's import it, and let's make use of a use effect hook, and inside that we will make a backend call. For now we are using a current demo backend, which is this one, json place folder dot typecode.com/posts. If I open this up in a browser tab, let me show you what it does. It returns a simple array of objects, which a single object contains a title, body and something else. And let me go back to the code, and then we have to pass this response rest.json, and after that we are going to simply set this response to our set posts function. And now we have to just add the dependency array as well, and now we can just print this right here. Let me convert this to React fragment. Now we have the posts, which is an array. Now we will be mapping over it. For that we will use map function, and each single post will be called post for now in the scope, and we will return post.title. And let's see what is returned to our screen. And let me close this window. Okay, post.map, initially the post is not there, so we have to obviously check if that is available or not. Now you can see this is only the titles are printed. This is not the user experience you will want, so we will have to do some modifications, slight modifications obviously. So we will just wrap this inside a div. We will do strong tag, and inside the strong tag we will do post.id, put a dot, then space, then post.title, and let's see how it responds. Yeah, this one is good. Probably we have forgot to put this inside these braces. Now it will look good, but still user experience is not that good. We have to implement the pagination. Let's start with the pagination part. So we have our demo content that we needed, which includes all the elements at once. Now we have to implement the pagination part. For that we will create a state like const current page, which keeps track of the current page on which user is currently staying. Set current page, this is the function that sets the current page, and initially it will be 1. Let's create a variable like per page how many content do we want to show. We can do 5. Let's find out the total pages, which will be obviously if posts exist then post.length, which is in our case almost like 100 as we just saw, divided by how many per page we do want to show. So this is our total pages count, and we will have to just wrap it inside math.c. So this is a JavaScript function, and for the starting index we will name it start index, and let's get the starting index like whatever the current page is -1, then how many elements will be there per page. So the per page, let's suppose user is on the 3rd page and per page there is 5 elements. So the starting index will be from 3 - 1 into 2. So starting index will be from 10. And let's find out the end index as well. So for that, start index plus per page. This one will be very simple. We have found the start index and the end index. Now let's find out how many elements will be shown to the user at once. Visible items, let's name this, and we have this posts array, and we will slice over it from the start index to end index. This was pretty simple. I hope this will be easy to understand. These are the elements that will be shown to the user at once. So what I will do, instead of just mapping over the whole array, I will just map over these visible items, which is from start index to end index. And now if I open the browser, it just shows the first 5 elements as we are on first page. If I just change the current page to 3, it will start from 11 to 15. Now it's time to give the user option to change between pages. For that, I will create another component named Pagination.js, React arrow function component. I will keep the name as Pagination. Let's return a fragment, and initially inside that I will create 2 buttons. One will be value will be the previous one, and let's copy that, paste again, and this will be next one. So let's first import this in here. Import pagination from /component/pagination. And now if I just simply render this one, this will show you 2 arrows. This is not obviously functional, just it is showing there. So let's add some life to it. I will wrap these whole button things inside a div named Pagination, and let's add some indentation, and here as well let's give it some styling, fixed. If you are not familiar with Tailwind CSS, if you hover over this, it will show position fixed. This is the styling that has been added with simple class name, and for this you will obviously have to install this template, which will be given in the description, and you need a plugin, Tailwind IntelliSense extension for VS Code, to be able to see this. So let's continue with the styling, which is not our main concern. Our main concern is obviously the functionality. Fixed bottom 10, then give it display flex, justify center, and to be able to do that we have to give a width, and let's see, this is visible at the bottom. So for now, if we do want to style, so let me just split it up. Okay, so we have split the window, let's collapse it, and let's do some styling. Let me give some class name to this button as well, and both the buttons will be having the same class names, almost similar class names, so I'll be doing at the same time. The cursor type will be pointer, cursor pointer, select none, so no user will be able to select that accidentally. And let me give some padding as well. Padding of x-axis will be 3, padding of y-axis 1, and to be able to see that we have to give a background color bg black. I hope we will be able to see that. So text white. Yep, now we can see that. Give some rounded border radius and some margin as well. Bam, mx2. So now we have 2 buttons, still they are not functional. Now let's go back to pagination. To add some functionality, we will have to pass some things. like we will be passing this current page, whatever the current page, to this pagination, and the function to update this current page, like set current page. So we are passing the current page and a function to update the current page. As we will be clicking on these buttons, we will have to get some way to update the current page. So that is the reason we are passing this set current page function and the total page to calculate. And now we have to receive them as props, like whatever we received, current page, what was the name, current page, and set current page, and total pages. I believe that was the name, set current page and total pages. Okay, good. So now we have received them. Inside this previous button, let's add some functionality on click, and there will be a callback function. One braces is more. Now in the callback function, we will use this set current page function, and whatever the previous value was, with an arrow function we will decrease it, like set p is equal to p minus 1. By default it is on third page, so it is starting from 11. When we click on left, it will go to the previous page. So similarly we can add this on click on this button as well, but what we have to do, we have to +1 a page. Now we can iterate through all the pages at once. So still we haven't implemented proper functionality where we have all the page numbers and all. Let's see how we can do that. Before diving into that, I want to show you that if we come to this first page, the button should not be clickable at all after that state, just because that if we click further, this will just disappear. For that we will have to disable this button. So this button always has a disable state which receives a boolean like true or false. If I add false, the button won't be disabled and continue as normal. But if I add disabled is equal to true, this button will be disabled and I won't be able to click on this. So I will have to add a condition where it checks that it has reached to this point, left point. So when the current page is less than or is equal to 1, means when the current page has reached 1, means it is currently in the leftmost position, so it can't go further. So in that case, the left button will be disabled. And similarly, we will have to add a disable state to this next button as well. So for that, the condition will be something different. Here the condition will be when the current page is more than the total pages. So the current pages can't exceed the total page count. So if we keep going, then it will stop at a point where it won't be able to click. So in order to visualize this disable state, we will have to change the class names as well. Now I am using multi-select and just using this, I'm using template literal. So I will select them together and wrap them inside braces. Going to the next line and adding a conditional class name here. So I will have to start with $, then when the current page is less than is equal to 1, only then add cursor not allowed. This is the class that disables the cursor, which is cursor not allowed. And if that is not the case, don't do anything or add any extra classes. So for that I will have to refresh the page, and now I am on third page. I will go back once and twice. Now you can see the state is disabled. Now I can click no more. So I will simply copy the class names and do the same with this one, but the condition here will be somewhat different as we have here. I will just replace this here. So now if I just keep going, I won't be able to click further. And if you want to just change the color for this background when the button is disabled, you can just simply add this background color on condition. I will cut this here. When it has reached to the end, it will show BG gray like 300, and when it is not, then it will add BG black. So like in the previous step it will show BG black, when it has reached the end it will show BG gray. Like it just seems somewhat that it is disabled. And similarly for this one as well. sorry. Yep, let me give it a refresh and check going before, and you can see this is disabled. Now it is time to add some page numbers in between the previous and next buttons. For that I will make some space here, and we will have to implement that here. For that I will create a separate function, and I will name that const render page numbers is equal to an arrow function, then create a simple array page numbers. It will be a blank array, then for loop let I is equal to 1. Remember, we are starting from 1 as we have to show the first page, not the 0th page. So I less than is equal to total pages, the number, and we keep doing I plus plus. And now inside that we will do page numbers dot push. We will keep pushing elements to this array. We can simply push the numbers, but we will be converting them to elements, and we will put the elements into the array. So for that I will just simply create a span and just render the number, which is I, and let's just call this function here. Nope, we probably haven't returned this. Yep, this page numbers, where the for loop ends, return page numbers. Yep, now we can see all the numbers. So now let's style this whole thing up. This looks kind of messy. Let's style this. For the span I will add this element itself as the key, and class name we will add cursor pointer as always, select none, then some padding as we did before, pxy, px1, mx2, the simple class names that we already have added to the arrows as well. The backgrounds for this will be conditional, so for that we will again have to convert them to template literals. Okay, now we will be wrapping them in braces, and here will be our condition. If current page is equal to I, means we are on the current page, then return background, which is indigo 600 or maybe 500, then or else simply return background black. So let's see. Okay, we have to set a text color as well, text white, and don't forget to add a space here or else the class names will not be working. Okay, so let's see how it looks. When we go back, you can see the colors are changing, but we still haven't added the functionality. When we click on the 7th page, it will jump on the 7th page. We haven't added that yet. This one is quite simple. We just have to add a on click to this, on click, and to that a callback. Okay, again another basis is more, set current page is equal to I. So simply, if this is number 11, the ith value is here 11. If we click on this, the set current page will add I, which is 11, to the current page variable. So if I click on this, it will update automatically. So I believe this is now working just fine. Let me give a refresh to this page. Let me come to the pagination, and let's start with the page 1, and again we will refresh this. This is the first page. It is showing from 1 to 5, and if we click on the second page, it will show from 6 to 10. Now if I just change this per page count to 10, it will start showing 10 elements in a page, and you can see the number of pages have decreased as we have increased the number of items per page. And now if I click on 2, it will start showing me from 11 to 20. You can see that we can use this as well, the arrow, and when we reach to the end, it will just simply disable it. And let me test it with the right one as well. Yep, working. And yes, one minor thing is left. We need to center this as we shown in the demo. So let me open to the first page, and let me wrap this thing inside a tag main.flex. It will simply add the display flex to this main tag, and we will just paste this inside main tag and do flex direction, which is column, flex direction column. Then to justify center items center, and to be able to work, we will have to add a height. and voila, this is now centered. So we have successfully implemented the pagination from a backend where all the data is sent at once. If you like this tutorial, make sure to like this video and subscribe, and don't forget to follow this series for upcoming videos. I am Somo, signing off.